Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing tonight? Tonight, it has been a bit of a challenge, actually, to get any of the other cast on. And a lot of people say one of the biggest challenges in playing D&D or getting a D&D group together is actually getting people at the table playing. And frankly, that is absolutely the truth. But everyone's doing really important things, whether it be family or working tonight, or some people are traveling. Noura and Omega are prepping for PAX and so on. So, anyways, you have me, you are stuck with just me tonight. And I'm really looking forward to just kind of like hanging out with you guys and saying hi and answering some questions. As usual, if you have a question tonight, make sure that you write question in capitals in the chat, and then our wonderful moderator, T Rob 19, will absolutely write them down, um, and I will access them through Discord. And so we will have, you do get me all to yourselves, Segura. That is very true, Mercy. Yeah, so if you have a question, again, you can start asking them now. We have about an hour together. I do have some sneak peek stuff for you from the live show at PAX. It's been nuts. It has been crazy prepping for it. If I will show you some fun stuff that I've been working on, because that'll be a blast. And yeah, and then we'll answer some questions and we'll hang out. Couple quick shout outs, obviously, to our sponsors. Our channel sponsor being World Anvil. They have an incredible system online for creating story and narrative, and even helps you to write novels and so on. You can check them out at worldanvil.com. We use them in all of our community, and they are awesome people, and we love them very, very much. And they have been super supportive and help us to do what we do here. And it has been great. Also, want to thank Forged Gaming, who obviously create awesome tabletop accessories, many of which I have here in the temporary studio. You can see you're getting a little bit of the behind the scene or behind the screen sort of look. This is the facades that we built. It got a little bit of a boo-boo here. Man, that's tough to do. Boo-boo there, and there's a boo-boo up here. But Joel and I built these a while ago. This one, actually, the rocks on the bottom aren't quite painted yet. Y'all are getting the real behind-the-scenes treatment tonight. Also want to thank Sirenscape. They have an incredible system, obviously, as well, online and locally, to play music and to add music to your tabletop RPGs. We use it all the time. With everything that we do, including for Cyberpunk at PAX this coming later this week. And we're very excited about that. Also want to thank Beetle and Grimm's, our main series title sponsor. Of course, Beetle and Grimm's, as you know, they create boxed editions, premium boxed editions of your favorite TTRPG, D&D, and others. System specific, awesome, next level, legendary boxed sets. Matt once explained it that it's like being a Pearl Jam fan, but then there's the mega fans that want like the 5 discs collection with the collectibles and all that stuff. That's what Beetle and Grimm's does. Check them out at beetleandgrims.com. When we get back to the season a little later, we will absolutely be giving away another Christmas Star box. So you would definitely want to be around for that and watching live for when that happens. It will happen in one of the last 4 episodes of this season 5. When it comes to announcements and upcoming things, of course, this coming week on Sunday, we're playing live on the main stage at PAX East. That is a mind-blowing moment for me. Main stage at the biggest PAX is huge. We're super excited about it. Noura, Ibrahim, Omega Jones, Dot Steverson, and Mark Mir are all joining me at the table to play Cyberpunk. It is a continuation of the RealmSmith Learn, so if you haven't watched that series, it's only 3 hours of content or less than 3 hours of content. You might want to watch that just to kind of get up to speed. But if you don't and you have it, still watch live. It's still going to be a heck of a lot of fun, and I've done some fun things that I'll show you in a couple minutes. So we have that coming up. We also have GameCon Canada in June. We're very excited about that. I will be at Gamma, but that's a retail trade show. So if you're going to be at any of those shows, let me know. GameCon Canada, it has been announced that we are doing a live main stage show Friday night. We have not announced what yet or with who yet. We're finalizing those details and we'll let you know. And then in July, so that's in June. In July, I will be at D&D the Castle again. Very excited about that. And my table is currently full. There are no tickets left, but there are tickets available for other awesome GMs. So if you want to come hang out with us at a castle in England, you definitely want to check it out because it is a blast. And I know I see a bunch of you there, as well as some familiar faces, including Erin, who is coming and playing at my table. Actually, again, that is where I met her last year at D&D Castle. And then there's lots of things happening in the fall, including D3 at Sea. Definitely check that out. That is a fun vacation experience. We're going to Bermuda, and I will be one of the guest game masters there. I'm also on staff at D3 at Sea, and so I help with a lot of that kind of branding and brand awareness, creative direction, and kind of securing the GMs and setting up that roster. There are lots of announcements coming very soon for D3 at Sea. And who else will be joining us? All right. Should we do questions first? Or should we show you some fun stuff? Let's do some questions first. Actually, I'm going to go through the questions that you folks asked last week that we didn't get to. Here we go. All right. We'll get through the questions last week, and then I'll show you some fun stuff, and then we'll go from there. First question's from Atomics. What's a dream campaign for you all to be in? Dream campaign. Good question. I would. You know what? Honestly, Curse of Strahd is my top campaign to be in. It brings back huge nostalgic memories for me from when it first came out when I was a teenager, when it was called Ravenloft. And it was always something that I really wanted to dive into and loved so much when I was younger. And so Curse of Strahd has always been super awesome, and something that I've always wanted to. That's been on my bucket list. Tides of Wildmount, because of my love for Critical Role and Matt and everything they do there. That has been a dream as well. As far as, Dragonlance is something that obviously was very special, close to my heart as a kid. Anybody who followed D&D back then, Dragonlance was a huge source of inspiration. So Dragonlance is one of those that, I'd love to get into. I don't know if we will. This is not an announcement of any sort, but it is definitely something that I'd love to dabble into. But if you're going to do it, you have to do it right. And so that is, and I just saw Scott Strawbridge last time asked any thoughts on a Dragonlance game. Again, we'll see. We're not sure what we'll be doing after this. Everything, it changes. Who knew we would be doing more Cyberpunk? You folks loved it, so I figured we would be doing more at some point. But yeah, so fun. Question from G. Hughes. Your live content has always been so popular. Would there ever be a possibility of a season special live episode? I would love to do some more live content. As you folks know, pulling back the curtain a little bit here, our streams are pre-recorded. We've done that because of scheduling. You can see tonight, it's tough to get people together on a Monday night. Some people have children now. Some people are married now. And so it's been difficult to get the cast together in like every Monday. So that has just become an impossibility. And it's, if somebody gets sick or whatever, and you can't record. So instead, batch recording ensures that the most people who possibly can be there at once. So that's why we've decided to go and pre-record. But I would love to do a live game. I would love. I do have an idea to fill time prior to the next season coming out, as well as maybe even before the rest of this season comes out. So I am going to continue to dig into that and have some interesting plans that I cannot share, but I would love to do some more live stuff because this is fun. There is something special about being alive. Jacoby Cotton says, kudos to Omega for saying my name right. Hopefully I said it right too. I am about to run Festival of the Blazing Sun. Anything you do different when you ran it, or any advice? Oh, that was a lot of fun. I'm going to say the same thing that I say about any part of Curse of Strahd. So I really love adding my own flair to any campaign. And as you folks know, and anybody who's studied Curse of Strahd or knows the story knows that we've taken some liberties and continue to take some liberties with the way that it is run. And I would, I would suggest and I would say that you absolutely want to, as much as possible, inject your own personality, your own fun. And even if you're like taking from other people, Lunch Break Heroes has been a huge resource for me. I've borrowed things from him and his channel, and it has been done very well. I've enjoyed it very much. One of those things was the Franken baby, and there are others as well, including the face for the abbot was another one. Not the abbot's face, but the abbot's Strahd's bride face. You know the situation. Um, but as far as Festival of the Blazing Sun goes, um, for me, if you haven't noticed already, my DM style is that time matters. And so if the players decide to go somewhere first and not there, I have time affect it. Maybe somebody's not there anymore. Maybe things have progressed a certain amount of time. There are some things that have to happen, and so you make sure that those happen. But I like to make sure that the players know that time passes without them if they decide not to go somewhere. It's not like a video game where that level is just going to be there when you get there. Um, and that was a really fun build. I enjoyed the Dwarven Forge build for that. And getting the sense of the courtyard was really great. Um, and getting a sense of everybody around, the procession, and the flaming ball that I made out of twine. Um, but I think it's important to really capture the Burgomaster's attitude, really capture his outlook and the way that he feels about his convictions. And that's all I'll say because I don't want to give too many spoilers for those who haven't seen it or are playing Into the Mist. But yeah, that's what I'd say. I hope that answered some of your questions. Yeah, Scott's question about Dragonlance asked that. And then we're on to today's question. So I am going to actually take a break real quick to show you some fun stuff that I've been working on. I don't think you're going to see them if I show you here. You may have seen on line that I am painting a ton of lawmen. These are Monster Fight Club official minis for our PAX game on Sunday. I can't believe it's this coming Sunday. And you probably saw online already that I was in the midst of doing a batch paint test. This was my batch paint test. I was kind of getting the color scheme. Oh, that looks actually comes out pretty well in camera. I drew some like road lines on the base, and this was just kind of like my speed paint batch test for the lawmen. They, if you remember, if you watched the RealmSmith Learns Cyberpunk, there was a Psycho Squad that came on the scene, and so I'm using these because they are a branch of the Night City Police or the police department. I'm just going to use cops for that. So there are a couple different types of lawmen. This is the Shield lawman. They are not done yet. I still have to highlight the blues. You can see, fix the police on the back. But these are the Shield ones with like a pistol, like a heavy pistol. Um, then we have kind of a sergeant or a captain. I would say like a sergeant because he's running a squad. I've taken a bit of a metallic approach to the armor. I looked online and I love the dark sort of approach that the lawmen in the art have, so I kind of went with that. And then you have this person who again have to fix the police on the back, but they're pointing down. The reason they're pointing down like that is because they come with a puppy. Where's puppy? There's puppy. So they're like a canine unit, so they may make a appearance on Sunday. You never know. Now, folks, you're going to see it here first. So you've seen Noura's mini. If you are a Cyberpunk fan, you've seen Noura's Nox Aria mini. That is the mini that is the official Monster Fight Club mini. Very cool. Kind of looks like Noura. They did a great job of capturing her likeness for that. And then check these out. So our other sponsor is back. Hero Forge is back. So for the other players that I don't have miniatures for, I went ahead and created Hero Forge minis. Now the players haven't seen these. They don't even know I was making them. So here we go. Yes, they shot Joel's character. I won't say what happened because some of you may not have watched it. So first, everyone's favorite solo. This is Ixtal, played by Dot Steverson. I made this again out of, if you're ever in a camera, it helps if you put your hand behind it. Ixtal, badass solo. Man, navigating a camera backwards is not easy. Assault rifle on the back, Ixtal with the knife. She's got some brass knucks in her gloves. That is Ixtal. At least how I imagined it. And again, spoiler alert, folks. Hopefully Omega and Dot and Mark don't watch this because then they see what's going on. Next, of course, we have Chiron, played by Omega Jones. This is how I imagined Chiron would look. Medtech extraordinaire, the no BS Medtech. I will be painting these before now and when I leave Wednesday. It's Monday, folks, so tonight I'll be up very late tonight painting miniatures because I have to finish all 16 cops. 16, you heard it, 16 cops. And four main characters. So that'll be fun. And then finally, our favorite media, Hunter B. Gathering, who is Mark Mear's character. He's got like a satchel and like a recording device on his side. Of course, his shirt will be of the Hawaiian variety, bucket cap, aviators, and that, of course, is. Again, check out Hero Forge, folks. Hero Forge makes amazing little minis that you can customize, or you make amazing little minis using Hero Forge. Those are the minis. Nobody has seen those character minis. I will not be posting them until they're painted, so you are the first to see those builds. The next thing I'm going to show you is pretty wild. I'm going to have to switch really quick to our break screen because I have to switch the camera a little bit. Then I'm going to show you. I printed large format maps of the ship, of the yacht that they were on. It's huge. It was not cheap, but I figured they have an overcam on the main stage, and so I wanted people to be able to see everything that was going on. So I'll be right back, and then I will show you. And we're back. All right, let me know if y'all can see this. I don't think you can see or quite catch the size of these maps, but this is my hand. And so these maps are 36 by 48 size. I just confirmed, like I said, that you can actually see what I'm seeing here. And if you remember correctly, all the way over here this was Yuri's room, I think, and this was Kyron's room. I have to check, or it's vice versa. But anyways, those were their rooms that they were stuck in. And then if we go to the next map, you'll see where the other two were. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. So that is the bottom of the boat. I won't show you the other levels yet, like that one. You'll have to watch live, or that one. Is this the one? This is the one. So I'm gonna roll these up. These are huge. I'm gonna try and not check these on the plane. I am instead gonna try and carry them on in a tube. We'll see how that goes. All right. So if you remember correctly, it was actually the other way around. It was kind of like this. You get to see a little bit of the messy new studio here. But this here is where, if you remember, this is the scene. And you can see how big this map is compared to the rooms. This is where Ixtal was. That was Ixtal's room. I wish I could zoom in a bit, but here we go. This is where Hunter B was, if you remember correctly. And then we had like the Psycho Squad kind of like this. And then this is where Kyron came down the stairs. And obviously we know what happened to Yuri. But anyways, those are the maps that you will be seeing at PAX Live. Pretty stinking crazy. And you know what? I'm going to show you something else too. Something else fun that I did. Give me 1 sec. Just got to run upstairs really fast. I will be back in 1 second. You'll hear me. This brings me back to the old painting days when I used to do tutorials. All right. Okay, so we don't have a Monster Fight Club. Can you guys still hear me out there? Everything's all right? All right. Okay, so Monster Fight Club doesn't have a AV4. AV4 is the vehicle that people use in the Time of the Red. They don't have an AV4 model complete yet on the market. They showed one, a prototype, at PAX Unplugged, I believe, but we're just waiting for the actual model. So I drew my own AV4, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to print that out tonight, or tomorrow, I should say, and then I'm going to cut it out, and then I'm going to mount it on a foam board, and I'm going to have a couple of those. Because obviously that's how the Psycho Squad got to the ship, because they had to have done that somehow. All right, so those are the little sneak peeks for PAX. I am so very excited. I will be right back, and we'll answer some more questions. And I'm back. Okay. All right, let's get back to questions. Hopefully, there's a bunch more. If you have folks have any more questions about PAX, can I tell you how excited I am? I'm so excited that I ordered some cyberpunk stuff on Amazon that I'm expecting to arrive tomorrow because I want to just immerse myself, some clothing and some gear. Um, but I know y'all are here for Into the Mist, so let me get back to that. I just thought that you'd find some of that funny. Am I going to see any of you at PAX East? Be great if any of y'all were coming. All right. I know. I'm excited, Lara. Okay. All right, fine. Okay. Okay, let's get back to some questions here. Um, Question, any thoughts on using more of the Cobalt Press supplements in Into the Mist or whatever's next? We absolutely have some things that we're working on with Cobalt Press. Stay tuned. We love those folks. Of course, Dot is their marketing director now, and we love her. We do lots of work with them, and so I would love to include them in more stuff. And so moving forward, so let's absolutely try and do that. That would be a lot of fun, and I would love that very, very, very much. From Mr. Ravenwind, have you all named the tech gremlins yet? If not, what would you name them? Oh, what would I name the tech goblins? Or the gremlins, I should say. You call them gremlins, don't you? Sometimes they're tech goblins, sometimes they're tech gremlins. I would name them I would call them a pain in the ass because that's what they are. Let me tell you something. The thing about tech goblins is this. I will spend hours the evening before a stream, or even just before we film, like 4 or 5 hours. It should take an hour to set up, but I allow myself a lot of buffer. The last time we recorded, like pre-recorded, we had, I had, I had 4 hours of time. 1 hour to showtime. Everything was ready. I was relaxing. I was like, man, this is easy. 1 hour to showtime. One of the software companies who make an app that we use in our setup made an update and destroyed our whole day. We spent hours after that, lost time for an episode. We could only film 3 instead of 4 because of that. So yeah, that was unfortunate. And so I don't know what are the most annoying names because you can't escape them either. So let's name them together. Actually, I'd love that. I'd love that. Let's get some votes in chat of what we should call the tech gremlins that tend to show up at the 11th hour and make our lives hell. They're almost like tech imps. Like tech demons is probably closer. Well, I guess a gremlin is kind of like an imp. But let's put some names in the chat and we'll make this official. They have union jobs. I saw that, Mistra. I won't repeat it, but that's funny. Bungus. Bungus is great. Logan, Bungus is fantastic. I want to say hi to Logan. Logan, he was at my table at on one of the cruises, and it was fun, and he was incredible. And I think he did how much? 100 and oh, you can tell us, but lots of damage, over 100 points, well over 100, 300, 200. It was a lot of damage in one go, and won the day, and struck the killing blow, and it was fantastic. So hey, Logan, thanks for joining us. Karen, Kevin, and Chad. Yeah. Although I like Chad, and I have a great friend named Kevin. So, um, oh, Evil Poltergeist Gen Con, absolutely. And we have potentially some news coming for Gen Con too. Stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned. Karen says she's okay with this. Okay. Karen, your name has been given a bad name. I'm sure you're a wonderful person, as are most Karens in the world. Um, that's funny. All right, next question. Moving right along. Laura asks, do you ever get story burnout, writer's block? How do you get past that? All the freaking time, Laura. Um, yeah, I've always said that you can't plan creativity. Um, you might be ready, something's due, you're ready to go, you sit down, and it's just like, I am not in the right mind space. My head doesn't work, my brain doesn't work. And so there are absolutely times where I get a story block, writer's block, or have that kind of happen to me. Um, the nice thing, so I was one of those people when we started this whole thing that had to over plan. Like if I wasn't over planned for RealmSmith, I wasn't prepared, and I didn't feel prepared, and I was very nervous going in. I have quickly learned, because of time and the lack thereof, I've quickly learned that sometimes the best moments are completely unplanned. And you could write all you want and prepare all you want, but you just never know where the party's going to go. That's happened so many times I can't count. So I only prepare what I need to prepare. It's a little harder with a published campaign like Curse of Strahd because you want to stick true and do justice to the setting. But absolutely, the way I combat it honestly is to do something else. I have ADHD, and I can multitask quite well, but I always have things on the go, and so I'll go like, hey, you know what? This isn't working. I'm gonna go work on something else for a little bit, clear my mind, and come back to it later. And that's kind of how I battle that. And then I try also as much as possible to give me enough time, but I'm bad at that. I am a last minute person. I've always been. I procrastinate. Drives my wife crazy. Drove my mom crazy. And procrastination is honestly just because there's so much to do that you do everything, and then you're like, oh, that could wait. I got lots of time, lots of time, lots of time, and then you work on other things, and you're like, oh crap, now I don't have any time at all. So, yeah. Hopefully that answered your question. Korgek, will you ever go back to doing mini painting tutorials? I've started this hobby thanks to your videos, but I really miss your lessons. Korgek, I do too, actually. Honestly, it was very therapeutic. But I found that while doing them, even though I enjoyed them immensely, that I was exhausted by the end of that 2 hours. It's one thing to paint on your own while you have a podcast or you're watching a movie in the background, but to actually teach and talk while you paint is actually quite taxing. And so, even though I loved it, and there were a lot of people that loved it, it didn't get the love that other content did, like Min of the Mist, which is also tiring, but personally more rewarding. I just enjoy it. It's not as taxing. It's not as so. I would love to do more tutorials if the community felt that that was what they wanted, and we could make a case for it. But I want to do one-offs. I've been talking to Vallejo recently about potentially doing some more stuff. So maybe stay tuned and you might see some in the near future. Let's see. Question from Logan. Will you make another series once Strahd has been eliminated? If so, what would be your top contenders for settings? Also, hi, Jason. Hi, Logan. Yeah, so we talked about this a little bit last time. I think we want to stay. Well, we'll see. Once this is done, which we know that season 5 is coming or almost done. Season 6 is coming. I don't know how many seasons we have left because I don't plan that far ahead. I want the story to progress. I know what the story will be. I just don't want to confine it into a set time frame. And so I want the story to have a natural narrative end. And so when that happens, I'm not sure exactly where we're going to go after that. That hasn't been established yet. It's really going to depend on the rest of the season, where that goes, who's playing, what characters are playing. where their storylines have gone. But I did mention last week that I'd like to stay in the Dread Realms with them. I just don't know necessarily where. So stay tuned for that. But I wish I had more to tell you, but I don't. And I apologize for that. Thanks, Logan, for the question. Paul Stewart. The pandemic made some of you go to remote attendance of gaming sessions, but I remember you all around the table before 2020. You can't replace that connection. Might that ever return? Um, yeah, so I mean, with our live sessions, we do play around the table with those that are local. It would be difficult. We'd have to fly Noura and Omega in and Erin in to have us all around the table. I would love to be able to film some sessions around the table, and maybe closer to the end of the campaign, we'll make that happen. I would love to fly everybody in and kind of play the end of the campaign together in the same room. That would be fantastic. That said, we do try to get around the table as much as possible. We did what we had to do, but we got back around the table as soon as we could when it was safe and when we were able to. But thank you for saying that, because I think that's what sets us apart, and sets Critical Role apart in a lot of ways, is friends around a table playing D&D. We always wanted it to feel like there are friends around the table, and even if we have people from Zoom, it doesn't feel like they're far. We have a speaker in the room, we have monitors that we're watching them, and it feels like we're playing together. So that's incredibly important to us. And that's why also we film in different places in the world, on cruise ships, at PAX, GameCon Canada, and other places that we're going. It's just really important to connect, I think. And human connection is very important. And so we do as little Zoom gaming as possible. Uh, Except for, of course, when I run the Legendary Hero sessions in Discord, because that's a great opportunity to bring people together from all over North America. Be very difficult to all get in the same room. So there are its uses, and it is important, and we do feel like close and a camaraderie. But when it comes to our seasons and our shows, I think it's important to be in the same room. Kaio or Ko Flurry. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Question: what do you think about centering a campaign around a fantasy trope like the MacGuffin, or having a BBEG, etc.? Um, yeah, interesting. I think our current campaign has a little bit of that. It has a little bit of that. Yeah, I guess not a specific MacGuffin, I guess. Um, but I do. I'm a sucker for a good trope. Um, Frankly, like I love not cheesy, but like on the nose sort of fantasy themes. I'm not big on like trying to be super creative to go outside of the box, and if that happens naturally, that's fine. But I do love leaning into those. Um, but I mean, Strahd's a pretty big bad evil guy. Um, and so having this all about Strahd and eventually trying to end him so that everybody can be free from Barovia, we're definitely leaning into that as much as possible. Adam has a question. Will there be an Into the Mist themed GM screen? Black, of course. That's a great question, and let me tell you all about that GM screen. We designed a really awesome product for Forged Gaming, called the Ultimate Game Master screen. We're very, very excited about it, very proud of it. It started off, some of you might know, there was a video on our channel years and years and years and years ago. Um, Actually, I think it was our first crafting video, where I built an Ultimate Game Master screen from scratch and from stuff, and taught everybody how to do it. That was a lot of fun, and it was magnetic, and that was kind of really important to me. And then to be able to go full circle and now create a screen that is magnetic that you can fully customize, I can't tell you how fulfilling that is. And so I'm very excited. I wish Forge Gaming all the best when they decide to release that. And there are some announcements coming soon regarding that. So stay tuned. There will absolutely be a Gothic horror themed screen for sure. Those screens will come in brown and black. And if you're interested in helping us design this and get some of that behind the scenes stuff, um, if you go to theultimategamemaster.com, you can sign up with your email, and we will invite you to the private design group so that you can give feedback and see all the cool tests and things that we're in product development that is going on in the background from our designs. So please check that out. I think that's all for the questions. If you guys have any more questions, we are at the end of that list. We have about 15 minutes left. Oh, Julia Taylor, here's a question. If the end of Strahd is the hopeful eventual end, will you try for a guest shot of Matt Mercer to play him as he did a while ago? Oh, I also saw a question regarding Matt Lillard too. Somebody had asked, will Matt Lillard be back? So let me address the Matts and those questions. Did I get through all those other questions? I did, right? Yeah, I did. Okay. I would love to have Lillard back. Lillard, as some of you know, is actually a close friend of mine. We've grown close. There is some news coming on that end too. We may be working together at some point soon, but I can't say anything yet. But I would love to have Matt back. It would be fantastic. It's just a matter of timing. I'm sure he would love to make an appearance. He really enjoyed playing with us. And it's rare that he plays on streams, and so to have him is a total honor. And he is just as wonderful a person as you imagine he is, as he appears he is. He is salt of the earth type of person, and so Matt is absolutely always welcome back anytime he wants to be back. Man, Matt Mercer, let me tell you, I think I've told this story a billion times, but I'll tell you again. When I got back into D&D, the reason I wanted to stream and do this is because of Matt Mercer. I started watching Critical Role. He inspired me, and then when I met him and hung out with him a couple times, and then have since had kind of an email correspondence and a friendship with him, he is again just as wonderful as a person as he appears to be. He has been super supportive of us. And for him to come on and play Strahd has been amazing, and I would love to have him back. So, again, it comes to timing. Obviously, he's incredibly busy creating live streams and board games and award-winning animated series. Watch those if you haven't yet. And yeah, I would love to have the Mats back, and I would love to have the Mats back together. That would be absolutely fantastic. As well, I'd like to have a lot of other people kind of guest, so that'd be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Kelly, I didn't see your question. Let me just go back here and see if there is one. Oh, is there any problems getting the giveaway prizes out to those who won stat trackers? I've sent all the information off to stat trackers, so if any of you haven't gotten your giveaways, please reach out to Joe Jfinkiewicz in Discord and let him know, because you should get them soon. I have sent all that information. So if you are missing giveaways, please let us know because we're not aware of it, and then we can go from there. Sorry, Kelly, that hasn't come through yet. I apologize for that. And you are right, Garrett. You can never have too many mats. Well, folks, thank you for joining Just Me. I love my cast dearly. Everyone, it's a very busy season. I have like 7 different projects that I'm working on right now, and so it's been busy myself as well. Trying to do everything that we can to bring you the best that RealmSmith has to offer. Lots of fun stuff coming up. Definitely stay tuned because what we're doing at PAX is just the beginning. Let me tell you, there are some pretty amazing, huge things still to come this year. It is still early in the year. Love you guys. Be good to each other. Love each other. I think next time we will have. I will be at PAX on Monday night. No, I'm flying out Monday night, so I'll be back Monday night. So we'll try and do something Monday. I don't know. PAX is going to be nuts. I'm going to be exhausted after PAX, so we may take next Monday off. Um, um, but we do have some content planned, even if we can't get the next couple episodes of Into the Mist done. In the short term, we've just had scheduling issues. We had to move studios, as you know, and as I mentioned last time. And so we are currently building a temporary studio. I have a final destination studio space that I'm very, very excited about. But that is not ready yet. So we have to set up a temporary studio, finish off the season, do some extra other content, and then we will get into a final studio, which I cannot wait for, which will be amazing. KO Flurry, my question was above, but that's okay if there's no more time. Let me just see if I missed your question. What do you think of centering a campaign? I got that one. Do you think challenging combat? Oh, that was the one. Sorry, I totally missed that one. Um, do you think challenging combat is rewarding? In what ways can I create challenges for my players without having to do hard combat? Man, that is a great question. And that is a great question to end on. Thank you, Kaio, for asking that. Do you think challenging combat is rewarding? I think challenging combat is rewarding until it's not. If you're fighting a big bad and you get to the end, and that should feel epic. That should feel like a grind. That should feel like it matters. But combat can be so grindy in D&D and take hours and hours that it's easy to get caught up. And just remember the narrative, in my opinion, and the storytelling and the fun the players are having at the table is way more important than making sure every hit point on that monster gets taken, or gets dealt with. And so I do think challenging combat is rewarding, but only when it matters and only when it makes sense. Um, in what ways can I create challenges for my players without having to do hard combat? There are so many ways. The my favorite one, and you've seen me do it many times, is creating a seemingly unsolvable conundrum, either socially or in the world, that sometimes I don't even have the answer for. That I give to the players. I'm like, hey, this is in front of you. This is a situation. How are you going to deal with that? Sometimes those are social tests, challenges. Sometimes those are environmental challenges, and they always come through. They always have better ideas than I do on how to deal with stuff. And that's one great way not to railroad is just don't have necessarily the exact plan or the direction that those players have to go in order to solve it. But I love throwing a narrative grenade in a room full of my players and shutting the door. Um, and then just seeing what happens. I know that sounds mean, but yeah, that to me is a lot of fun. You can challenge your players a lot of ways, and I think, huh, this is going to be deep and a little esoteric. Um, for me, social interactions that are difficult between your players are more rewarding and challenging than combat often is. When you lean into the player at the table who's playing a character that's a little dicey, a character that like doesn't play by the rules and chose to play that character that is a little bit on the evil side or on the dastardly criminal side, and you have other players that don't, absolutely lean into that, absolutely allow them to work that out, of course, using safety tools and making sure that they're okay and checking in. But if you have a group of players that trust you and you trust them and you're able to navigate that, that can be some of the most rewarding gameplay there is. By far. By far. Some of the best things that we've ever dealt with on stream is PvP narratively, not combat, narrative PvP, where somebody goes, I don't agree with that. And then they do this and they talk and they go at it. Like, perfect example, recently, cover your ears if you're not caught up on Curse of Strahd. in the location they just were, and Noggins decided to challenge Ezmerelda. And nobody was like, whoa, what just happened? Love that stuff. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Okay, love you folks so much. Thank you for being here again. I am neck deep in PAX prep. I have a ton to do before next week. I fly out Wednesday. That is in 2 days. And I have 16 minis to finish painting and 3 main characters for PAX and things to write and shite to design. And so I'm going to go do all that. In the meantime, trying to be a good husband and father and all of the other things that come with being human when you run a business like this. And so please tune in to PAX East Live on their Twitch channel. Saturday at noon, Sunday at noon to 3 is when we're playing on the main stage. We'll be playing Cyberpunk Red. But then we're getting the content for our channel after, and we will be putting it on RealmSmith as well. So if you watch it live, just jump over and like us, give it a like, and give it a share on our channel as well, and that will help people to know that it exists and that we're there. I can't tell you how honored I am to not only be asked to GM a live Cyberpunk game at PAX East on the main stage, but also the sponsors that have rallied around us to make this possible. It is so awesome to have the support that we do in this industry. And let me just say this, we have lots of announcements coming soon. But I really, really cherish, and even though I'm not around as much in the Discord and life gets busy and things are tough, I really, really, really cherish all of you. It's incredibly important to me that you enjoy the content we give you. It's incredibly important to me that you feel welcome, that you feel this is a safe place. And I never want that to change. And we do our best to make sure that we stick to our word, and we do have some announcements coming soon that will fulfill some of those things that we have promised for some time. All right, y'all. Love you. Take care of each other. Make sure that you tell someone you love them, because that's important, especially in this day and age. If I don't see you at PAX, I will see you after PAX at some other convention or a live event, but otherwise I will see you on realmsmith.tv. Not .tv, that's our website. I am tired. youtube.com/realmsmith. It has been great, and I want to do more of this live stuff with you all. Take care. Have a good night.